So we are at the console of a VM that's running in our lab environment, and it's an image mode RHEL 10 system. And I've got it booted up. Let's just say, for the sake of setting up our scenario here, this is a production web server. And we've had our web developers tell us there's an update ready for this machine. Let's say they changed the Apache config or they've updated the site, whatever, right? Something that's going to get deployed to this machine is ready to be deployed. In the past, what that would usually mean is we got to copy a bunch of code up to this machine, make sure that it works, or make the configuration changes manually or with some sort of automation, and then test and make sure everything's cool. And if it doesn't work, then we got to go into troubleshooting mode. So what we're going to do here is, with an image mode system, there's this command line tool called Bootc. And what we're going to do is we're going to tell this system, hey, let's see if there's an update available for this machine. Okay, so we're just going to say, don't pull it yet. Just tell me, is there an update available? And if I got my lab provision right, we should have one. Yes, there we go. So it's telling us right here, there's a new version available, right? That's version 10.0, surprise. And it gives us a digest and whatever. And this should feel a whole lot like what the sort of data you might get out of a container, because it kind of is. Now we're going to say, okay, we've got an update ready. Let's go ahead and apply that update. And it's going to pull down the layers of that container image that have changed between what's running on my machine and what's in the new image.
What are you running on this machine?
This is a RHEL 10 image mode box.
So what you're running currently is also RHEL 10.
So I'm pulling in RHEL 10. We can talk a little more about what Scott might be trying to allude to there later, but
just curious.
Okay. Just curious. So you can see it pulled in a decent chunk of layers there. Now it's deploying them. And while it's deploying them here, what it's actually doing is it's writing down a file system. It's actually writing the contents of that container image to the file system of this machine, right? And it does it in a tree fashion so that we can enable the thing I'm going to show you next. So now we've got the new system or the new update staged. We're just going to reboot the machine. And of course, rebooting could take a couple seconds. Go ahead, Scott.
In the other demos that I've seen on this, they've used a command called, I think it's Bootc status. They actually see the multiple images that you've got and which one is active or not active.
Yes, we'll show you that in the deeper dive.
Okay. In our episode, we said something quirky like update Linux like your smartphone.
Yeah.
Why did we choose to say that?
So if you've ever updated, honestly, it's both major smartphone vendors at this point, both Android and Apple. They use a very similar mechanism where it downloads an image of the base operating system, and it applies that in this tree fashion, the same way that we are now. And then all it does when the update is finished and it reboots the phone, it's just switching to the other tree. And if something goes wrong, it automatically will switch you back, right, on your phone. This doesn't automatically switch back, but we'll show you what you can do if there is failure. So let me get logged back in here. Our really secure password. Now, you'll notice that at this, all I did was log in, and immediately it's telling me there's a failed unit. Something's wrong, and httpd.service is the thing that's failed. Now, you might say, well, this is a different way to run a RHEL system. How do I troubleshoot it? Well, the cool thing is you troubleshoot it very similarly, or maybe even identically, to how you would a standard package mode RHEL system. So we're going to check the status of httpd, and guess what? It is in fact failed. Now, we can start delving into why it's failed and whatnot, but remember what I said. Imagine this is a production web server, right? Maybe we're in a maintenance window. Maybe we have time to troubleshoot. Maybe we don't. The point is, with image mode, you don't have to sit here and take the time to troubleshoot. All you have to do is roll back. So we're going to clear the screen again here. We're going to do Bootc rollback because we are losing super businessy business. Did I typo something there? Initializing. Oh, sudo. Forgot sudo. Okay, now what this is going to do is it's going to basically just tell the system, hey, the thing we were just on, go back to that. And then we're just going to reboot again. And of course, we have to wait for the thing to reboot, which is relatively quick because it's just a virtual machine. But what this should be doing is at the next boot, it's going to tell the bootloader, boot the last known good tree instead of the tree we just applied, right? And what it should do is once it comes back up, it should be on that old version of the image, and we should be back up and running again. It's already back up. All right, and you can see there's no more error about HTTPD not being started. And sure enough, it's up and running now. So there you go. Pretty simple, right? I like it.
For those of you who may not have observed what exactly just happened here, we needed to update the operating system and or application.
Right.
On a new image, which pulled down to the system, you can stage that in advance. Then we booted into it. During our validation checking, there was some kind of weirdness. And to roll back, we simply ran a command and rebooted, and we were back in our initial state. And that is really, really huge, because if you've worked in Linux for a while, you may be more familiar with managing packages where you do like a DNF update, HTTPD, or whatever packages you have. And if there's a problem after you've applied those updates, you now get to figure out which packages caused the problem, any additional meta weirdness like scripting or whatever else, and how to potentially try to revert those changes back so you can get back to where you started, which was a known good working state. And with image mode, all we did was revert the image and reboot the machine. Boom, back to a known good working image.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes it so exciting for me, right? And the other thing to think about is, say you have a system, and I know this isn't a common use case, but imagine in like a high performance computing situation or something where you've got nodes that are maybe deployed for specific workloads. In the past, you had to have like these weird virtual environments to make that happen. You could literally make an image and redeploy a whole node with the specifically tailored for the workload you want it to run for the next 3 days. And then when it's done, just deploy a different image to it. I think that's pretty awesome. I think that's pretty amazing.